Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another exciting Drunkard's Walk podcast. I am Jethro Nolan, 50% of your host by human count. And I'm delighted that the remainder of the human count host is with me, as always, Mr. Matthew Hartman.
Yes, here I am, Jethro, and happy that you're still counting by humans. I do think that it's odd that you do that for like when you're buying bananas and things like that, trying to ask for 1/100th of a human, from time to time. But I find it to be a very flexible unit of measure. Yeah.
I used to measure bananas by feet, and I would have 6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot bunch, and then daylight would come, and I would have to go home.
Yeah, well, so that's what happens to you, from what I hear.
It's true.
Yeah.
We were chatting. Insiders to the podcast may know that sometimes we chat before we record. We don't just sit here in stony silence on the Zoom call. And
that's true.
We were remarking on the fact that we are now deep into the 5th season of a project that started during the pandemic. So
it's definitely true. I don't know if deep is the right word. This is episode 2 of the 5th season, so it's not like we're deep into it. But I mean, it's October. Fall is in the air, and the fall is around, and
keep going.
It's fall.
What? Oh, thank goodness you had 3 things that you.
So I mean, you got to love that. And hey, I hear rumor that soon they might start vaccinating small children. So that's good news, pandemic-wise, right?
Well, I mean, it depends on which side of the aisle you're on. Some find that good news.
I'm on the pro surviving side.
That's because that's clearly because you're a liberal, where I am a pro freedom person, and I think that children should be given the freedom to die of a preventable disease.
Okay.
That's how much I love freedom.
Boy, I'll say you really do. You really stake a claim in that. I love how ardent you are about it. Well, but I'll tell you what, Jethro, here's the thing that I love, and that's walking through Wikipedia.
Me too.
Going from one place to another. And when I say place, of course, I mean page.
Yeah, we understood that you meant place in the sort of conceptual space meaning of the term. But Matt, it wouldn't be any fun if we just picked places that we knew about and went, because then that's us just showing off all the great things that we know. Yeah. When in fact, most of the great things out there, we don't yet know.
What?
It's true. As many lovely things as we know, there are more, even lovelier things out there that we have yet to encounter. And that's why we always invite a guest on to tell us about a new lovely thing, so that we can learn in the process of drinking and randomly clicking on Wikipedia links. So,
and who have we asked to join us this week?
We have a return guest, as is sometimes our want on this podcast. It'll be a great surprise how we met this person, as it usually is. But let's welcome to the podcast, Mr. Brett Bavar. Welcome, sir.
Hello again, guys. It's been a lonely 9 months not seeing you all.
Oh, well, we've been thinking about you every day. Have you?
I know. I mean, I've just been sitting around waiting for you to ask me back on the podcast for 9 months,
Oh, so you've been thinking about us a lot.
Listening to every episode over and over again and wondering why I wasn't on.
Oof.
Well, if we went by proportion of responses to the Google form soliciting suggestions, you would be in a frequent guest.
There you go. Yeah.
You gave us a number of them. If
that's true.
I love weird knowledge, and I love Wikipedia. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we do, and certainly no offense to you, that is not the reason we haven't had you on. It has just been, we like to try to keep it varied. We like to try to, let the listener listen to other voice. I mean, we have to be on each time. Like we are.
It is contractually obligated.
You clearly hate doing it. I mean, you just forced at gunpoint.
Right. But so we like to give the folks another voice that's different each time. But it's been a couple seasons now, right? You were you were on for, was it season 2, season 3? I'm trying to think.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know either. I could look back at my spreadsheet. But what was the topic that you gave us last time? Do you remember that?
Ylvis, the Norwegian comedy duo.
Yes, right. That was season 3.
What does the
that
Fox
was
say?
Season 3 for sure. Yeah. Right near the top of season 3, actually. So here you are back at the top of season 5, and it's good to see you. What have you been up to over the last 9 months? Anything fun?
Yeah, well, I've been, a lot of things going on at work, like increased leadership. And by the way, I should mention, listening to your podcast inspired me to do a social event at my work in which my team did a Wikipedia hunt together, and it was quite a hit.
Very nice.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's so great.
Fantastic. That's wonderful.
Wow. Well, that's really cool. What did they, do you remember like what you were ultimately hunting for, or
a
like,
whole bunch of things? I just had them do like random groupings of them, sort of trying out different paths and then scoring them individually each time they succeeded in a group.
Got it.
Very cool.
And who was the ultimate winner, or was there no ultimate winner? Was it just
one of the guys on my team here in Pittsburgh named Bruce. He knows a ton about history and all sorts of things, so we kind of predicted that.
Well, good job, Bruce. Congratulations. I'm sure you're listening.
Of course.
I'll have to let him know.
Yeah, absolutely. He gets a shout out, so he's got to listen now. Well, thanks for coming back. Thanks for sitting around waiting for us to call.
Yeah.
What do you have for us this time?
All right. So I have a fascinating individual for you today. His full name is the title of the Wikipedia page, William Moulton Marston. I didn't know his middle name before seeing that, in fact. But this guy, he lived around the turn of the century. The turn of the 20th century. And he was a psychologist, a professor, an inventor, a writer. He's best known for a couple of things.
I think I've heard of this guy.
I think you know who this guy is. He's best known. So first of all, like building some of the early prototypes of what became the lie detector, the polygraph.
Yeah.
Along with, the support of his wife. And he also was the original creator and writer of the Wonder Woman comic series.
Yes. I do know this name. And
insiders who are subscribed to our Patreon and get the video version of the call will see this.
That's not a thing, actually. That's not part of our Patreon.
But if enough people demand it, we will make it one.
Okay.
Matt Hartman right now is wearing.
Thanks for putting more on my plate. I appreciate that.
I believe in you. Do you?
Okay.
Matt Hartman is wearing a Superman shirt right now, so that's still in the DC Comics universe.
Yeah,
because I believe Wonder Woman is DC Comics.
Yes,
for sure.
But in addition to his work, like he had a fascinating personal life. So like he actually lived in a polyamorous triad with his wife Elizabeth and their partner Olive.
Wow.
Elizabeth was like also like his partner in psychology and invention, contributed to the polygraph. Olive was their student that they fell in love with when she was their research assistant.
Oh boy.
And
that shit would never fly today.
It does for some, right?
Yeah,
for many people. And I mean, both of those women also contributed a ton to Wonder Woman. Like they worked on this together. And there's a fascinating movie about this called Professor Marston and the Wonder Woman that came out a few years ago.
Yeah.
Where, have you seen it?
I have not seen it. I have seen it. I have seen that it exists and it is in my queue, but I've not yet watched it.
Yeah, I recommend it. Like William is played by Luke Evans. I find it a fascinating story of these folks. I also find it really interesting, like the way that Wonder Woman came about and the messages that he was trying to get across through Wonder Woman that I think most people don't really recognize. But like the era that it came out in the 1940s, it was actually quite progressive. And even today, looking back at some of the messages he was trying to put out there, are quite progressive, I think, around like pacifism, feminism, lesbianism, polyamory, like BDSM, and like all these things.
There's something for everybody.
Yeah, if you actually look at it, you could see these things.
Oh my God, tie me up and force me to tell the truth.
Exactly. You can see the polygraph influence in there as well with the lasso of truth.
It's crazy because early in the pandemic, my wife and I rewatched is even stretching it. We watched the Linda Carter Wonder Woman TV series from the 70s, which is a lot of fun. It's not good. It doesn't hold up because I don't think it was ever good. But
and I bet they took away a lot of the edge for the TV than what it had with his progressive messages, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's true. I think that a lot of what the character is sort of known as in the popular culture is much more tied into that version, the TV version, and then like the version on Super Friends, and like the cartoons that kids used to watch and the comic books. The initial comic books were much edgier than that, and they toned it down. And
part of that is probably that he died pretty young. I think he only did the comic for a few years. Then of course DC ran with it for decades after that, right?
I feel like comics are a cheap enough art form to produce that you're able to have a lot more niche kind of messaging in there. Niche. If you're playing the Drunkard's Walk home game, I said the word niche. You can drink.
There you go. Make sure you drink.
But that kind of, inserting of progressive values in popular entertainment, it's a lot easier when it's a cheaper budget thing versus like movies and whatnot are much bigger budget. They have to appeal to a much broader swath of the populace.
Right.
So they have to be a little more mainstream and watered down.
Right. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. I mean, he died young, unfortunately, but his wife and partner, Elizabeth and Olive, lived together for like another 40 years.
Wow.
They had 4 children, like 2 of them each had a child with William, and they went on to be a family, together without him for quite a long time.
How did he die? Just exhaustion?
It was cancer. I think it was cancer at a young age.
That's less funny.
Gosh.
Yeah.
That was not.
It's a shame. Sorry. I wish he could go back and die of a far more humorous reason.
Oh, goodness.
I have to
be. We all wish
through the selfish lens of the podcast.
Yeah. If only we could all have an anvil dropped on our heads.
Yeah.
Well, he was enjoying that bird seed that was sitting there in the middle of the road,
or just slip on a banana peel into the sewer. Or something.
That's right. That's right. Well, this is great. I love this. I love this topic, and I can't wait to learn a little bit more and to see how we're going to get from Mycobacterium tuberculosis to the inventor of Wonder Woman and the lie detector is going to be quite an interesting time. And I know that while I'm walking around, I'm going to be having a bit of a drink myself. Brett,
are you having there?
Are you having a drink? Well, I'm asking Brett first. He's our guest. I have to be polite.
Sorry,
so Brett,
I forget the manners part of this.
Right.
Brett,
yeah.
What
do you got, buddy?
Yeah. In fact, the same as last time. I'm drinking a Bird Dog peach whiskey, and I have right here a comically large, like 2-liter bottle of it, which maybe I could have finished if I was drinking it straight this entire 9 months, but
I feel like that is the perfect size of a bottle.
Now I feel like we should do video releases because that was awesome. That bottle, it makes him look like he's tiny.
Yeah, it is bigger than my head.
Yeah.
Very nice. What are you having, Matt?
I am drinking. Well, as I mentioned last week, it's October, so and it's a new season, so I started to do some beers. So I'm drinking an Oktoberfest because it's October, which is of course celebrated in September, but that's okay because I've got a Straub Oktoberfest. It's actually a Peter Straub signature brew. It says Elkland on it. I'm not sure what that means. Elchland, but there's a picture of an elk. So I'm assuming that's like the German word for elk land. And it's a Marzen, a rich, toasted, malty goodness. It's fantastic. I really enjoy it. Straub doesn't get the best name. It's a local brew, and it's often thought of as like a cheap beer, and it wasn't super expensive. This is a great Oktoberfest, folks. If you like a Marzen, you should jump on board.
Man, I love the Oktoberfest beers. My favorite time of the beer calendar is the fall when all the breweries come out with their various Bock beers and Oktoberfest beers. Huge fan.
Yeah. How about you? How about you, Jethro? You got anything this evening?
I do. In fact, I have a courtesy, actually, of a recommendation that you had made in an earlier season, a Legend bourbon.
Oh, yes.
I stopped by the bottle shop today and loaded up on some things, and I saw this there, and I was like, I think I'm going to give that a whirl, and it does not disappoint.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that. In fact, I was just considering getting some more of it because I'm out. So yeah, that's good stuff. Good stuff.
Excellent.
Well, Brett, thank you again for this awesome suggestion.
Absolutely.
And we're going to have some fun walking off to it. And I hope it is not another 9 months before we get to talk to you again and maybe see you again. Gosh,
Sounds
could
like
we even
deja vu. Like we said something
Yeah,
like that
I
last
know.
time.
I know we did. Oh man, we got so close to.
Well, the
and then-
theater's opening again, so maybe I'll
Yeah.
stop by and see you guys if you'll be
There we
there.
go.
It's
Yeah.
well, I don't know if I'm going to be there that often yet. I still have a young child unvaccinated, so we
Me
need
too. 3 of them, in fact. So
yeah.
we'll see.
Until that happens, I don't know how many. I don't know. I can't figure it out, and I'm not going to talk about it now. But the whole risk thing, I can't figure out
It's
what's
tough.
worth it and not, and all those different types
It's so
of things.
tough. Yeah.
Have you tried shipping your child out of state
Hmm.
and sending tens of thousands of dollars her way?
Gosh, I hadn't thought of that yet. I was going to wait.
Oh, that's what
that's
you've
how
done.
Christy and I
maybe
are
Okay, that's what you've
13
done, Jethro. Yeah.
13, 14 years. I was just going to wait and see.
Yeah.
Maybe do it then.
There you go. Well,
what happens.
if you do it now, college will be a lot cheaper than it will be in 12, 13 years.
Oh, that's a good point. Oh no, I'm doing the 529 that locks in the current rate. So
Oh, good for you.
we're all
for you.
good.
Well done.
Except that it's still super expensive now. So it's not like it's that great, but
Fair enough.
a little bit good. Well, thanks, Brett. And
Thank you.
We'll hopefully talk to you soon, man.
Yeah. Have fun. Looking forward to the episode.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
All right. So when you had heard the name of William Moulton Marston,
Yeah.
you had indicated that you had heard of this individual before, and given that they've lived a varied life of so much accomplishment, what about this guy had you heard about? The Wonder Woman element, the lie detector element, the threesome? What's going on?
So actually, I had heard all of those things, but they all started with the Wonder Woman information. I learned that he was the creator of Wonder Woman through, I don't know, probably some trivia that I did at some point, and then looked up information about him. Or actually, maybe there was a trivia question. It was like, who invented, or no, it was William Moulton Marston invented Wonder Woman, and also what device, or maybe it was the other way around. I don't know. But somehow
Gotcha.
I learned that both of those pieces of information around the same time, and then looked up information about him and actually read about the polyamory and all sorts of crazy stuff like that. But I was actually concerned that this was, because when I heard the name, I knew I recognized it, but I couldn't think of why. And for a second, I was concerned that it was a suggestion we had been given previously, that we didn't actually arrive at. And that's an episode that was never released.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
But is available on our Patreon, which
There
we
we go.
mentioned a little bit earlier, which we do have, folks. Check us out on Patreon. If you go to Drunkards Walk Podcast on Patreon, you can sign up to fund this fund the fun.
And I will say that we didn't not release the episode because we didn't arrive at our destination, because that, of course, has happened on ones that we have released.
It has.
But just because I think this was the first time that happened, and Matt and I were despondent and despairing and forgot that we had to make the journey fun. So
yeah, that's true. So sign up for our Patreon so you can hear a really boring, terrible episode.
It's not boring and terrible, but
It's not great though.
If you want to take us off of the pedestal that you almost certainly have put us on,
sure, yeah,
then that's a great way to humanize this one.
There is more on there. I'm not gonna. I promise this will be the only time that I'll talk too much about it, because it did for us just launched. It's been launched for about a month now. If you're listening to this, and there is an opportunity to get a T-shirt at a certain level. There's an opportunity to get a sticker, a Drunkards Walk sticker. The T-shirt is I'm going to call it a kind of a niche T-shirt, if you will. But yeah, check that out. There's different levels that you can jump in at, and you can get access to our old seasons 1 and 2, which are no longer available. You can get access to the hidden episodes that we never released. Our initial test episode is on there, as is a bonus episode that I recorded with my wife Emma one week when Jethro wasn't available. So there's stuff on there. It's fun, and gosh, we would love a little bit of money. And you know what? This is a great opportunity for us to provide a shout out to our very first patron, because that's what we do. We also provide shout outs to all the levels. So our very first patron was Katie T. So Katie, thank you so much for signing up, being number 1. And we hope that not number last. So there you go.
Bravo. Thank you for your support, KDT. Greatly appreciated. And you can't be the first, but you could be the second. So get in there.
That's right. Exactly. All right. Let's stop talking about that. Let's make our predictions and let's get on this walk, my man.
Oh, yes.
So we are starting at Mycobacterium tuberculosis and going to William Moulton Marston. And I want to remind you, Jethro, before you write down your guess, that he professionally and what he studied to be was a psychiatrist. So that might influence your guess. I don't know. And that's information that I remember Brett said, and it might have gotten glossed over because of all the other things that he did. So I just wanted to make sure that was out there before you wrote your.
Well, I appreciate you disclosing that piece of information before we went hunting, because it absolutely does. It takes 3 off of my guess.
Wow. Yeah. So you're just down to 1?
That's right.
That's ridiculous.
I'm going to make the bold guess that we are already on his page.
No, we would have to click one link. He could, but if he was on the Mycobacterium tuberculosis page, that would be 1.
No, then I'm guessing 0 because
0.
I believe
we're already there.
I believe that William Moulton Marston and Mycobacterium tuberculosis are the same thing.
Okay,
and it is very much a Clark Kent Superman situation here. You never see him in the same place.
That is a bold guess. And I guess that's probably true. I don't know that he ever had tuberculosis. So
it's true.
Or the tuberculosis never had him, perhaps is another way of saying it.
So because he studied, trained as a psychiatrist, which of course is different from a psychologist in that psychiatry requires a medical degree.
Oh, crap. Now I'm not sure. Maybe it was psychologist.
Well, psychology...
I don't know. I don't know which one it was, actually. I know it was one of the two, though.
Psychology as a distinct discipline emerged in the late 1800s, early 1900s, whereas psychiatry, they were all sort of stewing in the same primordial pool.
Not sure where you're going with this.
I'm saying you have to have an MD to be a psychiatrist, and that's why they can prescribe medicine.
Right.
And well-known people like Sigmund Freud, et cetera, were psychiatrists. But there also is William James, who I believe is the father of modern psychology, who was the fada of modern psychology, who is around that same time period, the turn of the last century.
Mm-hmm.
But we've got a very sciencey route here because there's a whole lot of science on this tuberculosis page.
On this page, yes, there is a lot of science. Because what I would like to do is try to get to something involving the lie detector, or something involving Wonder Woman.
I'm really hoping to take the polyamorous route. I am, for a couple of reasons. Number one,
you mean on the podcast? Oh, I see. Okay.
You know what? If Christy's listening, if Christy joins the Patreon at the right level, then she'll unlock certain advantages.
Yikes.
Boy, that's going to be fun to hear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
reaction to this episode in a couple of months.
Yeah, she probably won't listen anyway.
It's true. No, that's actually, she does listen. She is.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm sorry.
She will not join she will not join the Patreon, but she does listen to the episodes.
Good. I'm glad she's not going to join the Patreon. I instructed my wife specifically not to join the Patreon. I didn't want our money going through Patreon, losing a couple dollars of it, and then coming back to me.
The inefficient financial boomerang is never worth it.
No.
So there's certainly a lot of interesting things here. The superhero route would be interesting. I do see Horn of Africa listed here.
Do you?
I do. And I know that we are generally averse to a geographic route, but Wonder Woman, if I'm not mistaken, is often referred to as being one of the Amazons, or living among the Amazons.
She is, but do you know where she is from?
Good. Metropolis?
No.
Gotham City?
No. No, she is from the island of Themyscira.
Okay.
Which is a fictional island. So just to be clear, when they talk about the Amazons, they are not saying that she is from like South America. Just to be clear.
Yeah. I figured that because when you think about like the 12 labors of Hercules, as I'm sure you often do.
I do.
One of those tasks was for Hercules to steal the girdle of Hippolyta, queen of the Amazons.
Yes, exactly.
The term Amazon is probably used more in that sense.
Yes.
Because I'm sure this learned man was more knowledgeable about Greek mythology, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, yes, actually,
and also given that the people didn't know about North and South, what are now called North and South America, and that area, that I'm sure the Amazon region was probably named after the Greek mythology than vice versa.
Right. And in fact, Wonder Woman is the daughter of Hippolyta.
Okay, well, there you go.
So there you go. So possibly you even have a Greek, like a Greek mythology route in here as well. I noticed that there is a link to Atlit Yam. Is that how I would say that? Atlit Yam is an ancient submerged Neolithic village off the coast of Atlit, Israel. So ancient submerged Neolithic village instantly got me thinking of Themyscira. So I don't know if there's a way in through that, but that's also a geographical route.
That is perhaps the nerdiest sentence you've said on the podcast to date. So congratulations on that.
Bravo to me. You know, if we
indeed.
did go through a Greek mythology route, I bet we would find Pliny the Elder.
I love me a good Pliny the Elder reference.
Yeah.
Interesting. Very interesting. I see Y chromosome.
Yeah, you know, that made me think of there's a comic book called Y the Last Man. Yeah. And it made me think that perhaps there would be a path through that, but I'm concerned, maybe perhaps not.
It's true. Age of Discovery is listed here.
Yes, I did see that as well.
Which is fun.
Yeah, that's Europe. So, you know, not as well. I mean, I guess Greece is part of Europe. So maybe we could just go through that.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely hey, let's go through science, Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine. Like there's almost certainly other sciencey things that could get us from biology to psychology. So
the gentleman we're looking for, his last name is Marston. Benjamin Martin is on this page. I mean, those guys had to sit near each other in class, right?
Yeah. Who could argue with the intellectual rigor of that statement?
Yeah. I mean, come on. That's like, that just makes sense. That's alphabetical order. That, you know who loves that? Libraries.
It's true.
Libraries.
Yeah, I don't think Benjamin Martin died in 1752, so I don't know if that's going to pan out.
He's an oldie but a goodie. So you like Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine? You think that's a way to go?
That's a possibility. I mean, I would prefer something that's straight up like biology.
Yeah. I just want there to be. I just want to go the fun route, man. I want to go comics. I want to go lie detector. You know, I mean, that's the fun stuff. This is boring garbage in here.
Okay, so E. coli is here. That can take us to a lot of fun places. I don't see Stan Lee referenced on the page anywhere, so I don't know.
Well, he's in every Wikipedia page somewhere. So just look around a little bit more, because I bet we'll find him.
Yeah, he does a cameo everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. There are a lot of geographical places linked on here. I don't know that any of them are all that helpful, but again, we don't love the geography. It's
true. The geography is not always our fry end.
DNA is on here. DNA. Oh, no, never mind. That's not a good way to go. Forget it.
Why? DNA will get us to every living
it will. I was thinking of DNA more to like, DNA feels like the type of thing that would wind up on its page, might have like links to popular culture type stuff like Jurassic Park and maybe like even the Hulk, like, oh, you know, Bruce Banner and the gamma rays on his DNA, you know what I mean? Like stuff like that.
Yeah. DNA and pop culture. Yeah.
Yeah. That could show up on the DNA page. So it
could get us to like science fiction and X-Men and things like that. Now I know X-Men are in the Marvel universe, so
they are, as is the Hulk. So
there you go.
But I still think
there is a link to bacteria described in 1882 at the bottom of the page.
I saw that.
Which I really want to click on, just because I'm like, gosh, that is a very specific category of things.
It seems like it, but I'll bet we get in there and there's just a ton of them. I see
there's also
pathogenesis. And when I mouse over it, it says the word comes from Greek, And so maybe Greek is linked there, and we could just get straight into the Greeks like that.
Yeah, but Greek's not a particularly direct route, I don't feel.
No, I guess not. I mean, well, yeah, we had a lot of problems getting to like the Olympics and Mount Olympus and things like that through through Greece. So probably not the best way to go.
So DNA gets us into a broadly applicable bit of science.
Yeah.
Which could theoretically take us down more of a pop culture superhero route.
Yes.
But could also take us down a behavioral causation route, which could get us to psychology, which could get us to lie detector. So perhaps because it shows promise in both areas, DNA might be a handy thing to click on.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty much sold on it. The last thing I want to suggest here is there a way to get into like crime through here or breaking the law that would then get us into lie detector tests? Is there any sort of, do you see any legal stuff on here or anybody that did some improper, medical procedures or anything along those lines? You see anything like that on here?
Well, no, but that's also because this page is dedicated to the bacteria that causes tuberculosis rather than tuberculosis itself. Tuberculosis, the page on tuberculosis for the infection is linked at the top. And that's probably going to get more into the cultural elements of this, which could include like the weaponization of tuberculosis and that kind of stuff.
Okay. All right. Well,
I mean, there is a culture reference on this, but in the auger plate in a lab. Kind of reference, not the
culture. I see what you've done.
See what I did.
All right. So age of discovery probably isn't it. So DNA, I guess DNA is the way to go.
Where's that link?
For DNA?
Yeah.
See, now I have to find it again because I've of course gone past it. It's not that one. There's
DNA
RNA
repaired linked at the top.
It's not there. It's under strain variation, which is under pathophysiology.
Oh, pathophysiology.
Yeah.
There we go.
So go down to strain variation and the second paragraph, last sentence, almost at the end of that sentence, DNA.
Very good.
Or
DNA.
deoxyribonucleic acid, as they call it.
If you believe in that sort of thing.
In the big leagues. I believe in it. I am going to say I believe in it.
Okay, well,
since it exists,
if you're one of if you're going to believe in, like a sheeple in what big science tells you to.
Yeah, I am a bit of a sheep when it comes to big science.
Aren't we all?
I do follow what they say without doing my own rigorous multi-year study on it. Boy, there is a lot in here. Unfortunately, I don't initially see anything about it in popular culture. This is all very scientific stuff once again.
It's so true. But there are a lot of names linked here. And maybe one of these people worked in psychological fields. Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe they knew him. Maybe they married multiple people. You don't know.
Yeah. There's
James Watson, I heard, had 6 or 7 wives.
I'm sure there's a great polyamorous scientist Wikipedia page that we have yet to stumble on that hopefully is out there.
Yeah, it's certainly possible. You know what is linked on here? Brain is linked on here.
Is it now?
Yeah. So brain might be something that we could actually take a look at. Cancer is also linked on here, which we heard that he unfortunately died of, but I would be probably not on the cancer page, nor do I really wish to go to the cancer page. So
let's keep it light.
Yeah.
I will say that brain is not going to help us as much as mind.
Oh, I agree, but it might get us to closer to mind. I mean, based on what I've looked at so far, I haven't seen anything else that I've been like, oh, this could work. Mm-hmm. So brain to me just seems like a nice little path, not direct, obviously, but it's something.
So true.
Thank you.
I'm struggling again, we're very biological still, and we need to get away from that and into psychology.
Proofreading is on here. I don't know why that's linked, but it is.
Where's proofreading linked?
It's under, let's see, what category is this? It's under interactions with proteins. And then you go all the way down to polymerases. And proofreading is in the second paragraph.
But is it proofreading in the genetic replication sense? Yeah.
Yeah, it's used in genetics to refer to the code. But I mean, again, it's going to eventually link us out of it into something it's not. Oh, it's Terminator's on here.
What?
Oh, no, it's a transcription terminator. Sorry.
I got so disappointed.
Natural selection. That's a thing.
Animal remains. Mammoth is listed here.
Evolution. Outer space.
Ooh,
we've got outer space, cosmic dust, universe. Oh, wait a minute. So, I see. I'm right above where you were with animal remains.
There we go.
I kind of like outer space.
Sea urchin. So many different things here.
Sea urchin. Crime scene.
Where?
Under DNA profiling.
Ooh.
Oh, wait a minute. DNA profiling. Double jeopardy is on here.
Ooh, now we're getting into criminal justice. That opens up lie detector. Also, quite frankly, superhero routes still possible.
Yeah, the Enderby murders, which goes to Colin Pitchfork, a British double. Oh, never mind. I don't want to read the rest of that sentence. Colin
Pitchfork. Yeah. What a wonderful name that is.
Yeah, he's not a good guy.
I'm gonna hover over it really quickly. Oh no, God, no! Why did you make me look?
I didn't at all.
Oh boy, yeah. Don't go.
No.
Colin Pitchfork turns out a bit of a jerk.
Yeah, to say the least.
A bit of a jerk.
To say the least. Experiment is on here. Oh, that's Griffith's experiment. It's a specific experiment.
Now, where did you see crime scene?
Crime scene is right. It's in that same place where Colin Pitchfork is. I mean, it's under DNA profiling. Crime scene is like the third or fourth thing in: blood, semen, skin, saliva, or hair found at a crime scene.
Forensic scientists would forensic scientists get us there? I guess not, because they wouldn't use a lie detector, but it might get us. Forensic science could get us towards like crime, and I mean, crime scene also could get us there in terms of like
crime scene. And double jeopardy is on here too. I feel like that gets us into legal what's and.
It does get us into legal what's.
So that might be helpful.
I like crime scene of all those. I like crime scene the best.
How about we just go to DNA Day?
What is DNA Day?
April 25th.
Why is it April 25th DNA Day? Is that the day that it was discovered, or is that?
Don't know. DNA
Watson and
Day.
Crick's.
It commemorates the day in 1953 when James Watson, Francis Crick, Maurice Wilkins, Rosalind Franklin, and colleagues published papers in the journal Nature on the structure of DNA.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. That's why.
Yay.
I'm glad that they're giving credit to all of those people now instead of just Watson and Crick like they used to when I was in school.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people involved.
Like I feel like any scientific discovery of note, like everybody's standing on the shoulders of giants at a certain point. And given the collaborative nature of how knowledge is produced, that whoever's name might be on the study that shows the breakthrough, like they reference, 50 other articles that help lead them to that conclusion. So we're all just making incremental steps and over celebrating a small number of people for that. Heredity.
Sea urchin is on here.
Heredity is on here. Now we could get into nature versus nurture possibly through that.
How would that help us? Oh, just to get into psychology?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't love it. Crime scene's my favorite so far.
Let's do crime scene then.
All right, let's do it. Let's go to the crime scene.
It is under DNA profiling.
Yes.
It is at the end of a delightful string of references, as Matt mentioned earlier: blood, semen, skin, saliva, or hair found at a crime scene.
Yeah. So on this page, there's a link to CSIs, crime scene investigators. There's a link to law enforcement, which might be good.
There is a link it's part of a series on forensic science, including physiological, social, criminalistics, which curiously does not have a link, digital forensics, related disciplines, and Oh wait, there's shows. I don't know that we've sent this one up to corporate to find out what the click count rules are. But in the right-hand menu bar, there is a menu that has some areas under the forensic science banner where you can click show and it'll expand and show a variety of subdomains, but we're still on the same page. Do you see what I'm talking about?
I would say as long as we're on the same page, it's like mousing over.
There you go. I'm inclined to agree as well.
That'd be my feeling, which I'm mousing over, by the way. Perry Mason syndrome.
Ooh.
The manner in which the television crime drama Perry Mason may have affected perceptions of the United States legal system among defendants and jurors.
Also, not to be outdone, the CSI effect.
Yes, there it is. There it is. And skid mark is also on here.
Obviously, a reference to My Cousin Vinny. Interesting. There are digital forensics. There's criminalistics.
Yeah.
There's facial reconstruction, fingerprint analysis. Why don't we have?
Under social, it has psychiatry, psychology, psychotherapy, and social work.
It does, but it feels like when you look at all the other really specific things that fall under the broad, umbrella of tools used by law enforcement, it's got palm print analysis.
Yeah.
Now, I know that lie detectors are not permitted in a court of law, but they are definitely something that's out there in the ether, in the culture, as far as an understanding of how police do their work. So it's very interesting to see it absent from that list of possibilities, especially when it has something like Perry Mason syndrome.
Yeah.
A far less common thing.
Are any of these potentially like things that were just like is it possible that lie detection is under one of these that we're not paying very close attention to? Or these are forensic psychiatry and forensic psychology. Like maybe it would be under there.
Forensic psychology?
Yeah. Do you think?
I mean,
no?
I certainly like it as a possibility.
I don't know. Medical jurisprudence or legal medicine. Wow.
But blood stain pattern analysis is linked here. Limnology.
Forensic entomology.
Some
oh my
badass,
goodness.
I mean, forensic podiatry.
Yeah.
Is listed here.
What's the forensic palynology? Palynology.
That aims to prove or disprove a relationship among objects, people, and places that may pertain to both criminal and civil cases. Pollen can reveal where a person has been.
Yeah. That's fantastic. This is great. I love this.
Yeah,
this is all very fun here.
So of those that are present, I think forensic psychology is the one that most excites me, because that's going to get us, I think, closest to lie detector, because I think psychiatry tends to focus, perceptions of psychiatry based on Jung and Freud and other wackos from the early days notwithstanding. I think that psychiatry tends to be more a medicinal, neurologically based perspective rather than psychology, which is behaviorally based. Yeah, generally.
Yeah, no, I would tend to agree with you. I guess the other route that we can potentially try to take here is to go through something like a Perry Mason syndrome or a CSI effect to get into pop culture. My concern would be that how far away are we to get from Perry Mason syndrome to Perry Mason to then comic
Wonder
books
Woman.
to then Wonder Woman to then him, you know what I mean? Like it's a lot of steps. So
unless the actor Matthew Rhys or Raymond Burr did a DC movie.
Do you think audio forensics might be a way to go? Audio analysis, audio forensics?
No, I don't, because audio forensics, I would think would be like, oh, if like your iPhone is always spying on you. So if somebody broke in and murdered you right now,
Yeah.
and we had this recording, and I gave the recording to the police, that's where an audio forensics person would come in and listen and like hear the struggle and hear the guy wrap a chain around your neck and slowly choke you out.
Gosh, you're getting this is getting graphic.
I'm just, it's Colin Pitchfork the Third who's coming in to murder you.
Come on now. Okay, so
forensic psychology, the link on the right. I feel like that's the way to go, because that's going to get us to lie detector almost certainly.
I'm going to give you one more. Profiling. Could lie detector results be a part of profiling?
No, because if you're at the point where you're getting a lie detector done on somebody, you're no longer profiling. You have a human being. Profiling is like, what kind of weirdo would break into Matt Hartman's house and choke him with a chain? Like,
you're right. Okay.
It's a white man who's sexually frustrated, who works at a government job. Like that's the kind of
right. But perhaps we are matching a person's lie detector results to a particular profile, right? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I would disagree with that, because you're not profiling. You're not coming up with a profile of like, hey, here's the kind of answers these person would give on a lie detector. You're giving like demographic and other types of information.
Well, if you're asking that person what they do for a living and seeing if they're telling the truth or not, that's what I'm getting at there. Why
would a good cop have to ask them what they do for a living? Couldn't they find that out through other means? Let's go to their LinkedIn page for him.
I don't know how people do things. I watch Perry Mason. I assume everything's done that way.
You know what your problem is, Hartman, is you're always by the book. You're trying to do everything by the book. And I'm a loose cannon, right? I play by my own rules, and you know what? It gets results.
Yeah, we're going to have to take your badge and your gun, I'm afraid, for the next 6 months.
Just try. I don't know why I have a badge and a gun as a podcaster.
I don't know either.
I'm armed to the teeth, and I'm ready to shoot things.
Seems actually worse than it is. So psychiatry or psychology? Which one did you want to go with?
Psychology, forensic psychology.
All right, forensic psychology it is. Let's journey forth to forensic psychology and see what we see there.
Fantastic. All right.
Forensic psychology.
This is very exciting.
Yeah.
Ooh, and there's a lot of links in here.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. Expert witnesses, competence, judges, attorneys, legal professions.
Surprise witnesses.
And there's the APA. I mean, look, he could be on the APA page for all we know.
It's true. The American Psychological Association. So there's a link to psychological interventions. There is a link to criminal profiling, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
There are trial consultants. There's expert testimony.
I see links. Here's forensic psychology and popular culture, Criminal Minds, Mindhunter, and Silence of the Lambs, all linked.
There you go. Mindhunter, filmed in Pittsburgh, by the way.
Indeed. Yes. Yeah, we could potentially get through one of these into an actor or actress that was involved with a Wonder Woman movie.
Yeah, but I feel like we're so close to lie detector.
I know. I'm not saying we should. I'm just saying we could.
All right.
If we wind up not seeing what we want to see on here, like, for instance, Brown versus the Board of Education of Topeka is in here from 1954. Mm-hmm. That's not going to help us, but it's here. And that's what you need to know as a listener.
There you go.
But so far, I see expert witness, but I'm not seeing a lot about any kind of lie detector or, yeah. That's
disappointing.
Yeah.
That would have been nice to have had.
Yeah, it would have been. Yeah, boy. And some of this page has no links for a long time. Like there are parts of this page that are just all black text.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Yeah, I don't see this anywhere. I don't see lie detector. I don't see anything even close to lie detector on here.
That's unfortunate, because that would be very handy for us to have.
It sure would be. Law is on here. We've got all sorts of different types of psychology: social, clinical, experimental, counseling, neuropsychology.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
gosh, I was so excited when we got here, and now I'm a little disappointed.
I'm so very sorry.
You should be.
Uh, what can I tell you? That's what you
Yeah.
get for believe. That's what you get for believing in me.
Geez, man.
We're all disappointed in so
Of
many
all
ways.
the stupid. Well,
What are the other elements of? And I should point out at this point that I do have a bachelor's degree in psychology, so this theoretically is an area that I should have some kind of ability to help in.
that seems true.
It's not here yet.
Trying to remember if I watched Mindhunter, and I'm trying to remember if they ever used a lie detector in Mindhunter.
It was very much more about the birth of the FBI profiling program.
Oh, I know, but I'm wondering if at any point in that show they might have done, and if they did, it probably wasn't used enough that it would be on the page. So probably not worth.
Mm-hmm.
Silence of the Lambs. They do any lie detecting in that? I don't really remember.
Yeah, no.
But now I'm trying to think of actors and actresses that were in these shows and movies and how they might help us. Silence of the Lambs. Anthony Hopkins, the Thor.
Yeah.
But that's Marvel. I don't think that gets us. I mean, it gets us into comic books potentially, but doesn't necessarily get us into Wonder Woman. Let's see, who was in the Wonder Woman movie? Chris Pine, Gal Gadot. Oh, who was the bad guy in the first one? Theus. What's his name? Can't remember his first name. Oh, the guy from The Mandalorian is in the second one. Gosh, I don't know. Well, this might not even be the path you want to go on. So perhaps I'm barking up the wrong tree. Am I barking up the wrong tree?
It's possible.
You're not even going to answer me. Okay, that's fine.
No, I'm sorry. I said it was possible. That's your answer. So in the history section, it talks about a guy in 1879, German psychologist Wilhelm Wundt, experimental psychology lab. That predates our friend William Marston Morton by several years. But it does mention in the first decade of the 20th century, Hugo Munstenberg, the first director of Harvard's psychological laboratory and founder of applied psychology. I feel like if lie detection, and again, we know that today it is discredited, but every science in its early days has its fumblings of how do we apply this. And the more you get away from physics and biology and chemistry and the physical sciences, the more fumbling there is before we figure out what's legitimate and what's not fruitful. Mm-hmm. So if this guy, Hugo Munstenberg, is the father of applied psychology, he might have a link to earlier fumblings of applied psychology, like lie detection.
Possibly, I suppose. I guess I'm more inclined to go towards something like down here where it says some famous psychologists in the field include Saul Kaysen, very widely known for studying false confessions. So in this case, we're talking about something that's specifically a lie. And that's something that this person, was studying. We also have Elizabeth Loftus and Gary Wells, best known for the research in eyewitness memory. That one doesn't seem as good to me. But maybe this guy who is studying false confessions, because
lie detectors could be used to sort of coerce people and make them feel that they've confessed when they haven't, or convince as part of the whole legal apparatus to convince them to confess when they are in fact not guilty.
Right. What do you think of that?
It's certainly possible. I'll give it a shot.
All right.
Where's this guy?
This is under research, which is under, roles of a forensic scientist or forensic psychologist, excuse me. And you go down all the way to research and Saul Kassin, Kassin. And I have no idea when he was around. I don't have but I feel like he could be there. What do you think?
Well, as we hover over, he is a distinguished professor of psychology at John Jay College of Criminal Justice in New York City.
Okay.
So if the fact that he is still there, that gives me pause because he is.
Yeah, he would never study
active.
history. Yeah.
Is that sarcasm?
Yeah. That's what that is.
You're being sarcastic?
Yeah. Yeah. It's where you say something that's so obviously false that it's almost mocking.
Oh, wow. Wow. That is, you know what? You've caused me to go back to my friend Hugo. I was going to be on board with you. I had to air some reservations.
You're out of your mind. The first decade of the 20th century, this guy was around way before William Marston. Why would you bother with this? Why are you trying to...
The first decade of the 20th century didn't Brett say he was coming of age at the turn of the century? That's when he was...
it was the 40s. The 1940s, and he didn't live that long. He's
rewind the episode. Brett said turn of the century. Oops. And then he realized that we're in 2021 and turn of the century could be from 1999 to 2000. And he said, no, turn of the 20th century. That's what Brett said. Oh, I see. I don't see you taking a long, ponderous sip of your Oktoberfest beer.
Oh, I'm pondering nothing.
In judgment against me.
Look, I know when Wonder Woman came on the scene and it was the 40s and this guy didn't live that long. So I'm sorry, but I don't believe that he was around doing a lot of hard work in the 1910s.
He lived long enough to bed 2 women and have 4 children and invent a lie detector and start a comic book. He didn't die at the age of 10, for God's sakes. He wasn't murdered by Colin Pitchfork.
Of course he wasn't, but oh God, you had to take it all the way there, didn't you? My point is that this gentleman was clearly well established at that point.
Okay. You know what? You have a lot of great ideas, Matt. But talking about a psychologist who is still living now, talking about false confessions. And again, because polygraphs are not legally admissible in a court of law, I feel like they're going to play less of a role I feel like they are in the awkward early fumblings of the beginning of the psychological science and less about the current state of the art in psychological science.
Why are you convinced that he's looking at current false confessions only? Why would he not look at the history of false confessions? Why would he not look at all of them?
Because perhaps maybe this gentleman wants to use his immense brain power and his position in the world to study a problem that we're currently struggling with, which is the coerced confession by the innocent, by police and DAs and such, that's going on today, and not say, hey, what happened to kids in the 1920s? Let's solve those problems. Okay,
so you're not going to look at the past and understand what happened leading up to this. You're just going to look at right now and just take it without any context. Is that the way that these scientists work? You're the one with a degree in psychology. You tell me.
So yes, I will tell you.
Okay.
What an incredible straw man you have constructed there. It is a ridiculous. At no point did I ever say that current psychologists don't study the past.
Good. Perfect. Then we're on the same page.
We're not on the same page because you are on Saul Kassin's page. And yes. I am on Hugo Munstenberg's page.
All right, I'm going to go with you to Munstenberg, but it's gonna lose me the episode, and you're going to be wrong. But let's go. So right, just great. So you can be wrong. Let's go see how wrong Hugo you are.
Munstenberg. It won't be the first time. All right.
No, it won't be, and it won't be the last either. I'm sure.
You know what? Applied psychology is linked here, so look at that. Industrial organizational psychology, fantastic. Oh, look at this. He's got his comparisons to Wundt and James, who I believe is the William James, the father of psychology that I mentioned earlier. So it's not like I don't know nothing about this.
Amazing. So far, amazing. You're
very, very sarcastic, and I don't appreciate it at all. And this could end our friendship. Mm-mm. And boy, this applied psychology area is a lot shorter than I thought it was. In fact,
Shocking.
I believe it is consumed to it's confined to a single sentence. He wrote several papers on the application of psychological information in legal situations.
Perfect.
That it would have been nice if there was more stuff there. Although there is a section where he writes about untrue confessions. Very interesting.
Oh my fucking God.
I know, right? Untrue confessions was exactly what you were talking about before. And you were like, oh, it's not going to be there.
Marston's on this page.
What?
Go down to students.
I'm scrolling down.
I don't believe it.
Oh my God.
I don't fucking believe it. You edited this. You somehow edited this. You son of a bitch.
That's why I had to stall for a long time in order to get in there and change it. Munstenberg was an academic mentor to William Moulton Marston, creator of Wonder Woman. Wow.
I don't believe it.
I don't believe it either. I do want to see. Well, hell, let's click. That's what we're here for.
We're here.
William Moulton Marston, also known by the pen name Charles Moulton, was an American psychologist who, with his wife Elizabeth Holloway, invented an earlier prototype of the lie detector. He was also known as a self-help author and comic book writer who created the character of Wonder Woman. Now, I would like to point out that he was born in 1893. He died in 1947. So he lived for 54 years.
Yeah. 53. He died at 53 because he didn't quite. Oh my gosh, he died 7 days short of his birthday. That's terrible.
That's a shame. I hope they kept the receipts on the gifts that they bought.
Holy cow.
I cannot believe it.
You should go play the numbers, my friend. That was some lucky stuff right there.
It sure was. That is unearned victory right there. Is what that is. Because I thought maybe we'll get to lie detector. I did not think in a million years that this guy was going to be linked on that page.
Oh, that's insane.
Should we go back and try your route and see if it provides us
I mean, we can take a quick look, but there's no way it's going to be on the same page.
All right. So Saul Kaysen, that's what his name was?
Yeah, Saul Kaysen. I can't imagine that it's going to be anything even close to that. I'm going to do a Control F because we're not actually doing this.
I'm not saying lie detector.
Lie detector's not on here. So
okay, there you go.
So there you go. So my way would have taken us down probably a much worse path. Who knows exactly how much worse? And certainly William Moulton Marston is not on this page.
Well, there we go. So, Matt, I believe that we have arrived at our destination, and that leaves us only with the tallying of tallies. So,
it does.
You could still win because who knows what we guessed and who knows where we landed.
It's absolutely true, and I can tell you, I don't even have to count because it's the same number as last week. I can tell just looking at my columns here. So it is 5. It took us 5 to get there. Right. What did you do? 6.
I guess 6. What did you guess, sir?
Me too, big guy. You know what that means?
We got a
speed round. Boy, am I glad we looked up whether or not that thing worked. I won't go through him.
There we go. All right, so get back to Mycobacterium tuberculosis.
Yes. Oh God, this garbage. I hate this. All right, let's do it. So we both get a little bit of time to pick our path here. God. This is something else, man. I don't even know where to start with this whole.
All right, I got mine.
You got yours already? Oh, I'm sorry.
It's a speed. They call it a speed run for a reason, Matt.
I know.
I'm going to.
No, don't say it.
Oh, sorry, never mind.
Don't say it yet. Well, actually, you can. Then I definitely won't pick it. So that's easy, I guess.
I'm going to tuberculosis.
You are?
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, if I had any confidence that your picking skills were better than mine, then I would be worried by that comment, but I'm not.
Huh. No, I'm not saying it's. I'm sorry. I'm not saying it's interesting because it's going to change what I do. I'm just saying it's interesting because I never would have thought to do it. All right. I'm gonna. Oh, God, that can't be good. All right. Well, I got to choose. Okay, I'm going to cholesterol.
All right, there we go. Here we are in tuberculosis.
Okay, here we go. Okay, I got mine. You have 15 seconds.
I have 15 seconds, do
Yep.
I? Okay. That's great.
10.
Uh,
5. I'm going to cells, by the way.
All
right, your time is up. Pick something.
All right, I have picked something.
Okay.
What'd you pick? I am going to, I'll tell you what I'm going to. You're going to like it. It's very exciting. We're all going to enjoy it equally. I'm going to Ingrid Bergman.
All right. All right, I have mine.
Oh, come on now.
You have 15.
How? That's bullshit.
You're down to 10. 5.
This is bullshit.
Time's up. Where are you going? I'm going to Latin.
I've got John Gielgud.
I was supposed to say that initially, so my apologies.
That's okay.
Okay, I've got mine. I'm going to ancient Greek.
Come on now. I feel like this is unfair, what you're doing.
I'm just telling you.
Okay, fine.
You have 10 more seconds.
Shut your goddamn mouth.
5. All right, time's up. Where are you going?
All right. I am going to, I know it's on here somewhere just because I saw him. I know he's in the movie. I am, fuck.
Hey, come on. You got to pick.
All right. I am clicking on where, Jesus, Derek Jacobi.
Okay. Uh-oh. Oh, this is not going as well as I was hoping. Oh, you got to be kidding me. It took me to the fucking language. Okay, I'm going to Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.
All right, I'm going to list of actors who have appeared in multiple Best Picture Academy Award winners.
All right. Oh, no. Oh, wait. There we go. Oh, no. Oh, okay. I'm going to Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone film.
I am going to give up very shortly.
You have 5 more seconds.
Oh, do I? Well, that's plenty of time for me because who's
all right,
to say?
Time's up.
All right, I am going to go ahead and click on. Oh, fuck. I hate all of this. All right, I'm going to click on Ben Affleck.
Okay.
Why not?
Oh boy. That's not what I need. That's not what I need. Oh, come on now.
I've got it.
You've got one?
I've got one. I don't know if you know this. It turns out Ben Affleck had to turn as Batman.
Ah, yes, I did. I did actually know that. Okay. I'm going to Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire.
I'm clicking on Batman from it's funny because you click on Batman and it takes you to Bruce Wayne DC Extended Universe.
Oh, that's not too surprising.
And I've found mine.
Oh shit!
You'll never guess.
You're already there, aren't you?
I'm going to click on Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I bet you are. Oh shit!
You go right ahead, sir. You take your sweet, sweet time.
I mean, you know that you're already there before me, right? So, damn it, where's this guy? I can't believe he's not on this page.
I'm sorry, your time is up, Matt.
Yeah, I know my time is
sorry.
up. I am going to click on David Tennant. I'm clicking on David Tennant.
Very good. Well, unless David Tennant is the great grandson of William Moulton Marston, I'm afraid you're going to lose because William Marston is linked on the Wonder Woman page.
Yeah, I'm sure that he is.
There we go.
Son of a bitch. Oh, I really thought I had you this time.
It's a rough life we lead here.
Why the hell is this? Okay, well, I guess I can look it up later, but congratulations, you son of a bitch.
You're welcome. Thank you, Matt. It's always a pleasure, and I win or lose, it's always a delight to go. It is because I enjoy our little jousts. I enjoy the things that we discovered. I enjoy learning about interesting characters like William Moulton Marston, and quite frankly, his wife and his girlfriend, who deserve equal interest in discovery. In fact, I'm going to try to find that movie, Professor Marston and the Wonder Woman, and give that a watch, because it sounds like an interesting group of folks who I'd like to learn more about.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely need to watch it. Like I said, it's sitting in my queue, ready to be watched, and I just haven't seen it yet. So,
good deal.
All right.
Well, until next time.
That's right. Hey again, everybody. Matt Hartman here for Drunkard's Walk. Thanks again for listening. A big thank you to Jesse L. Lee for our theme music and Nick Harmio for our artwork. A big thank you to you for listening, of course, and a shout out to Katie T, who is a patron on Patreon. If you're interested in being a patron as well, go to patreon.com/drunkardswalkpodcast. You can sign up there for any of our 4 tiers. We've got a short stroll for $3 a month, a constitutional for $10 a month, a regular mosey for $20 a month, or a real wander for $50 a month. And at those different levels, for the $10, you would get a bunch of stuff as well as an exclusive sticker. In the $20 a month, you get the sticker and a t-shirt, as well as all the other stuff, some unpublished episodes, a shout out. You get access to all the different episodes. And of course, at the $50 mark, you would get the t-shirt, the sticker, the unpublished stuff, the shout out, and also you get to join us for a walk every season. And that doesn't mean just giving us a topic. No, it means actually walking along with us. So if you're interested in any of that, go on over to Drunkard's Walk Podcast. Patreon.com/drunkardswalkpodcast. You go to drunkardswalkpodcast.com. I don't know that you'll find anything there, but if you want to check us out on a different platform than you're listening to us right now, we are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music. That means you could listen on your Echo if you wanted to, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Pandora, TuneIn, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, Pocket Cast, Deezer, Listen Notes, Player FM, Podcast Index. Gosh, so many different ways to listen to Drunkard's Walk. So, hey, we love the fact that you're listening. We'd love a rating or a review from you wherever you are listening, especially on Apple Podcasts. That really helps us out to get a little more notoriety on there. And you know what? We're just happy that you're here. So thanks so much, and we'll talk to you again next week. Hi again, everybody. This is Overtime. Each week, I'll be giving you a little extra knowledge about something that happened in the past during the week of our release. And this week, we look at the week of October 12th. And today, I'm going to tell you about the attempted assassination of a former president of the United States. It took place on October 14th, 1912, and the former president in question was Theodore Roosevelt. Roosevelt was shot in the chest by John Fleming Schrank, but survived the injury and in fact followed it by giving a 90-minute speech that evening.
It was another day on the campaign trail for Teddy Roosevelt. He was in Milwaukee, Wisconsin to deliver a speech in an effort to win this election against Howard Taft and Woodrow Wilson. You see, Roosevelt and Taft were both Republicans, but Roosevelt was running under the Progressive Party, a new party formed by Roosevelt when Taft, a former protege of Roosevelt's, was nominated by the Republicans earlier that year. You might recall that Roosevelt had been president from 1901 to 1909, but had only been elected once since he was vice president when William McKinley was assassinated shortly after taking office. But Taft and other Republicans still thought that 2 terms was enough for one man, and since Taft was the incumbent, he received the nomination. But back to October 14th, Roosevelt was in the Gilpatrick Hotel in Milwaukee at a dinner. Schrank had actually been following the former president from New Orleans, heard he was at the hotel, and showed up. He shot Roosevelt right in the chest. He was then tackled, and some say that he would have been lynched, but Roosevelt insisted that he not be harmed. He was later put on trial and deemed insane and sent to a mental institution where he died in 1943. Roosevelt staggered when shot, then straightened himself and claimed to be fine. Some insisted that he go to the hospital, but he insisted that he wasn't coughing up blood, so the bullet must not have reached his lungs, so he was fine. And indeed, he was later proven correct. In fact, the doctors decided it would be more dangerous to remove the bullet than leave it in, so he carried it with him the rest of his life. So what saved him? It was his eyeglass case, as well as a 50-page copy of the speech that he planned to give later that night. So, oozing blood into his shirt, he gave that speech for 90 minutes and lived on to lose that election. He died in 1919 of an unrelated blood clot that traveled to his lungs. The Progressive Party was dissolved a year later and never had a successful presidential candidate. And that's it for Overtime for the week of October 12th. We'll see you next time.